So the other one I wanted to talk about was Palantir's insane manifesto that they wrote, where they called for the draft. And I think before we read the manifesto, we just remind ourselves of the guy here. This guy, Alex Karp, who I think he said that he wanted to like spray anyone who criticized him with fentanyl laced urine from a drone. So this guy's company, he's apparently the highest paid CEO in the world right now. Like literally nobody asked for this at all. And they just decided to put this out here. And it says Silicon Valley owes a moral debt to the country that made its rise possible. The engineering elite of Silicon Valley has an affirmative obligation to participate in the defense of the nation. At first, that first bold part makes it seem like, oh, okay, they're ready to redistribute their wealth. And then it's, oh, no, the defense, that doesn't sound good. We must rebel against the tyranny of apps. See, like they put this like nice sounding stuff in bold and then they put their bullshit opinion next to it. Is the iPhone our greatest creative, if not crowning achievement as a civilization? The object has changed our lives, but it may also now be limiting and constraining our sense of the possible. What does that even mean? Free email is not enough. The decadence of a culture or civilization, and indeed its ruling class, will be forgiven only if the culture is capable of delivering economic growth and security to the public. Okay. The limits of soft power, of soaring rhetoric alone, have been exposed. The ability of free and democratic societies to prevail requiring something more than moral appeal. It requires hard work and hard power in this century will be built on software. It requires hard work and hard power in this century will be built on software. That doesn't even make much sense. The question is not whether AI weapons will be built. Oh my, it starts getting worse as you go on. The question is not whether AI weapons will be built, it is who will build them and for what purpose. Our adversaries will not pause to indulge in theoretical debates about the merits of developing technologies with critical military and national security applications. They will proceed. National service should be a universal duty. This is the draft. This is forcing people into the military. We should, as a society, seriously consider moving away from an all voluntary force, only fight the next war if everyone shares in the risk and the cost. What? This is fucked. If a US Marine asks for a better rifle, we should build it. And the same goes for software. We should, as a country, be capable of continuing a debate about the appropriateness of military action abroad while remaining unflinching in our commitment to those we have asked to step into harm's way. So, a lot of this shit is obviously like hot dog stand says hot dogs will make you live forever shit. You know what I mean? A lot of this. That public servants need not be our priests. Any business that's compensated its employees in a way that the federal government compensates public services would struggle to survive. Wait, so any business that compensates its employees the way that the federal government compensates public servants would struggle to survive. That's saying he thinks that the government employees get paid too much, in fact. Okay. And that businesses are right to pay poverty wages. We should show far more grace towards those who have subjected themselves to public life. Yeah, like you don't want to get made fun of and called a fucking dweeb on the internet because you are one. The eradication of any space for forgiveness and a jettisoning. I know I'm stumbling over my words here, but who the fuck says a jettisoning of any tolerance for the complexities and contradictions of the human psyche may leave us with a cast of characters at the helm who we will grow to regret. I ain't reading that one again. The psychologization of modern politics is leading us astray. Those who yeah, I like the Starship Trooper references. I'm definitely seeing that. Those who look at the political arena to nourish their soul and sense of self, who rely too heavily on their eternal life finding expression in people that they may never meet, will be left disappointed. So this means basically, yeah, you shouldn't care about others. That's basically what this word salad is saying here. I know he writes like my first book where I nobody made it through that book. It's back there with the weird ass cover because I ate way too much acid back then. Let's see. Our society has grown too eager to hasten and is often gleeful at the demise of its enemies. I'll agree with that. I think that's the only thing I'll agree with on here. The atomic age is ending. One age of deterrence, the atomic age, is ending, and the new age of deterrence built on AI is set to begin. Then why are we still going to war to prevent countries from developing nuclear technology, even of peaceful means? No other country in the history of the world has advanced progressive values more than this one has. The United States is far from perfect, but it is easy to forget how much opportunity exists in this country for those who are not hereditary elites than in any other nation in the planet. I'm not sure about that. I don't think that's the case. And because it's like we've also exported so much bloodshed and death and destruction. So it's this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about or that I was talking about earlier. How do you square these things? Because yeah, there is a lot about American culture and movies and music and stuff like that has done positive things around the world. Our our government's cultural exports are not good. And it like cancels a lot of that shit out, especially at a time like this. I would not be excited to go abroad right now. American power has made possible an extraordinary, really long peace. It has not been a long peace. The United States has been invading countries left and right for the past 50, 70 years and propping up dictators all over the place. The post war neutering of Germany and Japan must be undone. The defanging of Germany was an overcorrection for which Europe is now paying a heavy price. A similar and highly theatrical commitment to Japanese pacifism will, if maintained, also threaten the shift of balance of power in Asia. We should applaud those who attempt to build where the market has failed to act. Blah, blah, blah. So many of these, like, guys just want they're billionaires already and they just want the world to suck them off. Silicon Valley must play a role in addressing violent crime. Up, here we go. Many politicians across the United States have essentially shrugged when it comes to violent crime, abandoning any serious efforts to address the problem or take on the risk with their constituencies or donors in coming up with solutions or experiments in which should be a desperate bid to save lives. Oh, like we know that eradicating poverty would do a lot. Maybe you should stop like advocating against that. They're all freaking out right now because Mondami wants to tax second homes that people don't even live in that are over $5 million, and people are acting like it is Stalin taking over New York, and at the same time they're worried about poverty and shit like that. I can't help it. I'm pretty sure the especially is a Philly thing. 'Cause I grew up in Philly, and I think it's a Philly thing. That's one of them one of them things. But thanks for tuning in as always. The ruthless exposure of the private lives of public figures drives far too much talent away from government service. You are so scared of people criticizing you on the internet, dude. The caution in public life that we are unwittingly encourage is corrosive. I will agree with that. Everybody is always scared to be themselves in public because they know that they could be filmed or something like that. Yeah, sadly, I grew up in the same place Netanyahu did in Philly. No, it's all good. It's all good. The pervasive tolerance of religious belief in certain circles must be resisted. The elite's intolerance of religious beliefs is perhaps the most telling signs that its political project constitutes a less open intellectual movement than many within it would claim. I don't think anybody has any problems with religion per se. I think it's just that there are a lot of beliefs that come along with religion, especially in the United States, that are not good and that are worth judging, that are like cause people to be hateful. and cause people to believe in rigid hierarchies. So I think that's the issue. But when a lot of people use religion as a cover for their bigotry and shit like that, because there are plenty of religious people who are like awesome anti-war activists, will chain themselves to the nuke factory and shit. But especially in the U.S., the broader political movement of evangelicals can really be considered a hate group in many situations. So it's like that is what he is specifically trying to give cover for. And you could see that by how he said the political project constitutes a less open intellectual movement. So it's like, why would I have a problem with somebody's religion? Like they're going around saying, "Hey, be good to each other" and shit like that. That's fine. Or, "Hey, this is my religion." No problem with that either. It's just the, "Hey, you're living your life wrong. You're going to go to hell." And not only that, I am going to spend billions of dollars to try to get politicians to create laws to criminalize you in various ways. So I feel like that is worthy of pervasive intolerance. Some cultures have produced vital advances, others remain dysfunctional and regressive. So now this is another cover story for the colonialism that his industry takes part in. All cultures are now equal. Criticism and value judgments are forbidden. Yet, this new dogma glosses over the fact that certain cultures and indeed subcultures have produced wonders. Others have proven middling or worse, regressive and harmful. I don't think that there is power imbalance across countries. And there are many of the countries that are accused of being regressive and dysfunctional or harmful or whatever are actively being colonized. We must resist the shallow temptation of vacant and hollow pluralism. We in America, and more broadly in the West, have for the past half century resisted defining national cultures in the same name of inclusivity. But inclusion to what? And just leaves it with that question. I will say that, especially in America, in the United States of America, there is no national culture. Everybody moved here from somewhere else, except for the people that are thrown on ghettos that we call reservations and shit. I don't know how it is in other countries, and I can't really speak for national culture there, but I do think it is a little bit obnoxious in a country that is 200 years old, that has, you know, not much to speak on as far as like we do have culture, but it's not a it's not defined by a racial or ethnic thing, or it's not defined by something that you can exclude other people from. If this place has any culture, it is the result of a bunch of people all being here and figuring things out together. That's my take on this. I thought that this was worth looking through because this is the biggest one of the biggest companies in the world calling for the draft. And not only that, they're getting deep into shit now. They're apparently doing oh, wait, let's look at a better source for this. Bloomberg. They're apparently gonna be doing the air traffic control now too. FAA taps Palantir, Thales, and airspace intelligence for AI tool, Bloomberg reports. Oh, they're gonna hit me with the I'll go into the remove paywall. Let's see. Time to do some captchas. What? Let's see if they can get me in the Bloomberg one. There we go. Looks like I can't get through the paywall right now. But anyway, they're going to be getting involved in the FAA as well. Yeah, I don't really that the whole like scientific angle of the religion thing doesn't bother me that much, cuz I personally like I'm agnostic with all the weird shit that I believe in, but I believe in a lot of weird shit that isn't proven. But I don't like believe in it because of the fact that I'm agnostic, you know what I mean? I just think that life's more fun to lean into some of the weird shit, or if you lean into some of the weird shit. That's my feeling on that. So I don't necessarily mind people believing irrational things. I have a problem with people trying to get other people to believe their irrational things. That's where I think it crosses the line. And when they try to tell other people how to live